Uh,
Uh.
what? Well, gonna have to leave that in as a blooper. Okay, so 20 minutes later, I had to load the previous save state, and it was from the boss of Planet Scorch, so I had to go through all that stuff again. And I have decided that now I am going to tell the story of the time I won a contest to be in a comic in this message board that I used to go to. This will be an incredibly useless story, but hopefully amusing. So, to provide some backstory, I used to always go to this site called the Ultimate Board of Cool Stuff, and this is where Bargo the Big Dip was first posted. And there was this comic on there, basically just like this ongoing story about people who like post on the board frequently and like the moderators and stuff. And there was no kind of like plot to it per se, but it just kind of kept going, and I don't really know. And at one point, there was this contest, basically like the first person to answer this riddle correctly will get to be like a character in the comic. I think the riddle was just like, it was something really basic that I've heard like 30 times before. It was like, you're in a room with like a candle and a gas lamp and something, what's the first thing that you light? And the answer is a match. And so I answered it, and I was the first person to get it right, so I got in the comic, which I first heard about through like an AIM chat, that like I was suddenly just invited to this chat room that I've never been a part of before, with all these people that like are well known, at least on the board, and they're like, hey, you won the contest thing, and I'm like, I did? Awesome. Like, do you need me to like come up with like a character description or something? And they're like, well, just something really vague, like what kind of stuff do you usually do? And I'm like, well, I just kind of am on the computer all the time, I don't really do much of anything. Like, you can make my character whatever you want. And so the next comic to come out did not have me in it, but it did have the character called Lightitup1337, who is just this cigarette that symbolizes all noobs. And it makes no sense, I know, but you have to roll with this here. And it's just this cigarette, he's like, oh man, there was this contest for somebody to, like, get into the comic, and some guy named Jish won it, even though he clearly cheated. It's not fair, they rigged the contest. Man, I have a huge stick up my ass right now. Because, like, apparently right after it was announced that I had won, like, a whole bunch of people started bitching about it and claiming that, like, I didn't have enough posts to be in there, and, like, it was just, like, this, everybody was, like, completely butthurt over it, and so the next comic was just making fun of that. And then...
Oh.
Save stating here, because I have no idea where the secret is, once again. I really hope I didn't already miss it. But anyway, I finally get in the comic, and so one of the characters goes to find the porno bush, because that's a thing that exists in the comic. It's just this bush that grows magazines, and it's gone, and he's like, oh no, I need to find, like, where it went, or, like, who created it. And then my character shows up, and I'm just like this guy with orange hair and glasses, and I'm just like, oh, it was me, I created the bush. And he's just like, who the fuck are you? And so, that I had, like, maybe 2 comics that I was in. Basically, just, like, nothing interesting happened in them at all. But, like, I just love how I was the creator of the porn bush. That is now my legacy. Like, I'm like, okay, sure.
Oh, man.
And so that is my story. Man, I have a huge stick up my ass.
Oh, boy.
Yes, this comic spawned many amazing things, like, when spammers, like, well, no, when people spam too much, they get turned into squirrels. And, like, there was this ongoing thing where, like, all the squirrels were gathered together and they would, like, have nothing to do but to play Go Fish. And so this is where the inspiration of small woodland creature from Bargo the Big Dip came from. It's a squirrel that likes to play Go Fish.
Oh, hey, it's the ice level from Wario Land 4.
What?
Like, the whole you're slipping and you need to know what to do shit.
Okay.
Because that's the only game that ever did that.
Okay, so here's the mini-boss with the weirdest gimmick I've ever seen. And I want you to tell me what you're supposed to do. Okay, so here's a snowball. You throw it at him, and there you go. I missed. I need to hit him with another snowball. What do I do? Where do I get them from?
The ground?
I can't move past this point. I can't catch the ones he's throwing at me. I can't take him from his stack. You have to use your idle animation.
Oh.
Yes. If you stand still for long enough, it will create a snowball.
I think this is the first boss where the only way to beat him is to stand.
And I'm failing freaking miserably here. God damn it. What the hell was that one?
Endless amount of snow.
Oh my god, this is annoying. The creator of the porn bush. Not going to get over that.
Was I gonna talk about the camp?
I think so.
Alright. Last year I was a counselor at a camp. And it was like a day camp. It was like 5 days a week for 2 weeks from... God damn it. Why can you just walk? I'm never gonna not be pissed off by that. But yeah, anyway. But, and for most of the days, I had the 4th and 5th grade class or whatever. And basically what they would do is they'd go through all the fun parts of school. So they'd have, like, music class and an art class and a PE class or whatever. And no actual, like, learning things. But, and it was just, like, a fun, weird thing that they did during the summer or whatever. And, for the most part, I had the 4th and 5th grade classes, which were fine because they were old enough to, like, say things that matter and know how to do things on their own. Like, I could turn away for more than 30 seconds and they wouldn't be dead.
Yeah, like they wouldn't eat glue.
Yeah, but then I randomly for 2 days got switched to the kindergarten and 1st grade class, which is the exact opposite. Because if I turned away for more than literally 10 or 15 seconds, they would, like, not have any limbs. I don't know what they did. They would just be... I remember one kid, I was like, okay, just stand here for a second. And then I go over to get something for another kid who's screaming. And then I turn back to the other kid, and he has an extremely bloody nose. And I was like... How could you mess up that
What
badly
did you do?
in this amount of time?
Hey look, it's Santa Delibird thing. I don't know.
Okay, and now it's not.
Also, fish swimming up waterfalls that are being puked out of giant frog statues.
That you have to grab onto.
Yes.
But, yeah, so, they were very I don't even know a word, kids. And so I just remember in art class, I, like, set them all up with the thing. I said, okay, when you're done with this tub or whatever of water, once that gets filled with paint, you start using the other one. And I get all the stuff ready for them. And I was like, okay, I gotta leave for a minute to go get something, which was really just, I needed to go stand in the room for counselors, so I didn't need to, so I wasn't near you the whole day. And I was like, okay, is everyone good? And everyone's like, yeah. I'm not even all the way to the door yet, and this Chucky Finster kid is shitting himself, and he, like, is screaming and crying, and I was
Why?
like, the paint hasn't even touched the paper, what could have gone wrong by now? And how can you screw this up this fast? And I go over and I'm like, what's wrong? I'm trying to give a shit about whatever he's crying about, and he goes, I don't know what to paint! And I was like, okay, well that's your job. I'm here to just make sure you don't die while you're here. You're the one who has to come up with things to paint.
That?
I should've.
You should.
But I just said, okay, well, I'm just here to look after you. You have to be the one who paints things and have to think of something. He was like, but I don't get what we're doing. And I was like, okay, the assignment was to, like, paint your favorite thing that's colorful or whatever. And I was like, so paint something colorful. He was like, but I can't think of anything. And I was like, paint an Easter egg. But I don't like Easter eggs. And so, I don't even know what I did, but after like 5 minutes, I finally got him to shut up, and he didn't even end up drawing anything colorful. It was like a soccer ball or something.
Wow.
And, but then this other girl's freaking out at the other end of the table, and I'm like, what's wrong? And she said, I messed up. And I was like, what are you trying to draw? And she said, an Easter egg. And first of all, I'm like, god damn it, my bullshit idea already was stolen by somebody. So, I was like, okay, well, what's wrong with it? Because it was like a yellow circle that was filled in, and then I guess she was going to get blue paint, and a couple drips of blue paint got on the yellow part. And she was like, there's not supposed to be blue there. And I was like, well, what do you want it to be? She said, it's yellow with blue polka dots. And I was like,
well, there's the blue polka dots.
Okay, well, just paint over that, and that's the polka dots. He was like, yeah, but I didn't want the polka dots to be there. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, you're not gonna give a shit about this in like 2 hours. Are you really gonna be that upset if the polka dots aren't in the next...
This section right here, by the way, this is like pure amazing gameplay.
This looks really weird.
It's timing the game.
Awesome.
And
oh my god.
Here, oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
Here's the very easily missable secret section.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was really, like, really easy to miss. But anyway, that story's over. That's pretty much all I remember from that. But, yeah, fuck those kids. That's all I have to say.
Pretty much.
The 4th and 5th grade kids I have, like, 0 stories about because they were all fine.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying they each didn't have their own hang-ups, but they were definitely a lot better.
Okay, can we stop clicking outside the fricking window? God. Anyway, the only, like, these bonus levels are, in general, not difficult, but you only have one chance at them before it's gone forever, so I really don't want to screw these up. Especially when it's, like, stupid bullshit jumping stuff like this, where you have to be, like, pixel perfect. Okay. I got the snow crystal.
And then you, like, fell through everything and ran out of time.
Nehru's love, except purple.
I like that frog thing.
Yeah, with the eyes that were following as I was spinning around. Did you notice that?
I'm really glad that I am not crazy. I saw that and I was like,
Also, one thing I wanted to mention in the last video, but I forgot, is I have to, like, give a hand to the composers for this game for coming up with, like, background music for a level based on music.
Yeah.
Like, for snow levels, it's like, yeah, you have bells and, like, chimes and stuff. Music level, like, what do you do? And yeah, this is Eat a More Lunch. And this is actually significantly worse than the boss of the fire level. This is at, when I first played this game on Sega Channel, this was the point I got to that I could never pass. And there's no saving in this game. And
that thing is fucking creepy.
I must also point out that this boss looks significantly different in the English version. In this one, it's like a cat. In the other one, it's like a weird frog thing.
It's really freaky looking.
So, you have to feed it... for God's sake. You have to feed it hot soup.
Okay. That the little, like,
There we go.
guy with a Pringle hat is giving you.
Yes. The timing on this is kind of atrocious.
Is it soup?
I think it's soup, or like a pizza or something.
It kind of almost looks like spaghetti or something. But then again, I'm looking at like a huge blown up version of it because I have full screen. I have a screen share on full screen.
For God's sake. I didn't do anything. No. No. God damn it.
This reminds me of a really weird game at an arcade that I used to go to a lot.
Okay, I actually did quite well there.
And it was basically like you just
Yes.
It was you needed to like throw a bunch of balls into somebody's mouth because it was like they're hungry.
Yeah, sounds like your typical Chuck E. Cheese kind of game.
It was at a very odd arcade, but that face looks a lot like the face that you were throwing the things into.
Also, I think I might have forgotten to turn off the air conditioner during this recording session, but it's not like my microphone doesn't have horrible background hiss anyway, so I don't know if anyone would notice.
Apparently your microphone's way different on Skype than in recordings, because I haven't noticed anything.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, I can hear the air conditioning, but it's okay. Planet Black?
Yes. This is supposed to be Planet Automaton. Let's see what this one is. Rewope.
Okay.
Sure. Alright, so next video will be Planet Rewope, which is, I guess, the last one, except I think there's like a kind of 7th area, except not really. I don't know. But yeah, that was a great video with great stories in it. Next one will be much worse.
Yes.